Hey Nintendo fans and collectors, Lithium here for my channel Nintendo Collecting. What an important week for Nintendo, what an important weekend coming up for me. I'm getting married in less than 5 days, it's one of the biggest, most important events of my life, but I still want to bring you a Question Lithium episode this week. This will focus on only one question, and that is Nintendo's E3 press conference. I want to give you a review of the conference, and I want to give Nintendo a grade. So let's get to it, and let's press start. The question for this week's episode comes from JP Lara Nang. Who do you think won E3 this year? First off, right away, I have to come out and say it. Nintendo won this E3, hands down. I'm looking at some polls online, and a lot of them are at approximately 67 or 2/3% for Nintendo, and the remaining going towards Sony and Microsoft, if you just look at the big three. Nintendo had so many big announcements. One of the big announcements was obviously Amiibo, Mii Fighters coming also to the Super Smash Bros. The Amiibo to me are a little bit bigger. I think this will do very well for Nintendo. It's a very smart decision to release these. I think they're going to do really well, and I want to collect them because I love collecting figurines. They're part of my collection. Another big announcement from Nintendo was Mario Maker. You can finally create your own custom Mario levels, and what was really cool about this that really interested me is that it looks pretty simple. It looks easy to use, and it almost looks like a style of a la Mario Paint, where sometimes you see some flies coming on the screen. You can hit them off or knock them off. I'm really sure a lot of people are going to get really creative with this game, and I'm excited to try some out myself. It's cool that you can switch between old school Mario and new Super Mario Bros. Style, which really makes the game more interesting. And I really think just this is a great idea for Nintendo. I'm really surprised they haven't done it in the past, but it's great that they're bringing this to us now that they have the technology to do so, and now that it's really simple to make your own custom levels. The next game that Nintendo talked about during their conference was Yoshi's Woolly World. This game is the style of Kirby's Epic Yarn. I absolutely am in love with this style of a game. Look at this. This looks adorable. It looks incredible. It really does look cute, and it just brings a smile to my face, which is what the developers were trying to do anyways. What's interesting about this game, though, is it's a lot harder than Kirby's Epic Yarn, because that game was a little bit too easy. This time around, you will have a heart container, or basically hearts to get hurt with, but also this time around, you'll be able to play 2 players, which is outstanding in my opinion. My fiance and I are definitely going to play this. Wow, she won't be my fiance anymore. She'll be my wife. That's crazy. Yoshi's Woolly World, though, isn't expected to come out this year. It's actually expected to come out in 2015. It's definitely a game that I'll be picking up. I'm excited for that one. Another first look, this was kind of an extension to part of the game that was in Super Mario 3D World on the Wii U already. This is Toad's Treasure Tracker, or Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker. I'm not really sure if this will be downloadable content. Right now, I would say that I'm excited for this. This does look awesome. It's a different kind of platformer where you can't really jump, you can't really attack enemies. 1 touch or 2 touches and really you're dead, just like in Mario. But it's a whole different take on the platforming genre. I'm not sure if this will be a full release at retail or if this will be a downloadable game. Minecart levels, absolutely love them. I love the different perspective that you have to get by moving around the gamepad and moving around the camera angles, so I think that's really cool. And I'm excited to play this because the levels in Mario 3D World were actually exceptional. They were really good. We just needed more of them. So these look a lot more advanced. They look a lot more thought out. It looks like there's some bosses in here, obviously. I'm wondering if Captain Toad's Treasure Tracker will be a full game on its own that you download or that you buy in stores. It's supposed to come this holiday. Next, they talked about The Legend of Zelda on Wii U, what they had to basically have to make a lot of people love their E3 press conference, and they were aware of this. This art style to me looks spot on. I like how Nintendo games aren't always going for the realistic style, they go for their own art direction. This kind of looks like Wind Waker meets Skyward Sword, almost meets Twilight Princess, which is the strangest combination I could ever say, which doesn't really say a lot, and it says a whole lot at one point, basically. Now, a lot of people are talking about this Link, or Link in this video, looks androgynous, looks male, looks female. I'm sure that was kind of on purpose. I love how opponent launches Link there so you can actually attack on your own. I am so excited for Zelda Wii U, but I really don't even know if this will be out in 2015. Maybe 2016. The next games Nintendo talked about was Pokemon Omega Ruby and Pokemon Alpha Sapphire. These two games I'm excited to come out on the 3DS because I actually have never played these original versions. Travesty, terrible, I know. But these versions look a lot better. Obviously, the graphics look better. I'm told that they're going to include, or they're definitely going to include, Mega Evolutions this time around. So it's almost like they're taking the original game, they're expanding on it, they're making it a bit better. They're obviously not just doing a rehash and not just doing a simple remake, they're making this version a lot better, which draws me into the series even more and which makes me want to go and play these. And I'm not sure if I'll ever be able to go back and play the originals. Apparently these games are out November 21st, 2014. Nintendo next showed Bayonetta. Now, this is a series particularly I have never been into. I've never tried it before. Nintendo did not have their hand in the previous game, so I'm kind of interested to see Nintendo's hand in this game to see if it's a really awesome game like everyone's saying it is. But the cool thing that they announced was that they won't just come out with Bayonetta 2, they're also going to release Bayonetta 1 with that disc of what you're buying, and they made that HD as well. They made that look fantastic, and they kind of fixed it around as well. I'm excited for Bayonetta just because I've never tried it before. Comment below, what are your thoughts on it? Are they amazing? Should I be really pumped for it? I'm not sure if I'll get this at launch in October. Hyrule Warriors was the next game Nintendo showed, and this game we already knew was coming out, and they really impressed me with this. It's come a long way. Link's a playable character, Midna's a playable character, Impa's a playable character, and obviously Zelda's a playable character, along with more. So I'm expecting a Goron, I'm expecting maybe a Deku Shrub, maybe even Ganon in the end. We'll see. That's coming out this year on September 26th. Kirby Canvas Curse came out in something like 2005, I think, and this is a sequel to that. It's called Kirby and the Rainbow Curse, I believe. So this time around, you're using your gamepad to kind of direct Kirby around. You're trying to make sure that he covers all the obstacles on the course and, kills items in a certain manner, and really using the stylus on the gamepad makes a lot of sense for this. Kirby also has transformations to go through. This is something that I'll probably pick up, but maybe not at launch. It looks pretty cool though. Kirby and the Rainbow Curse in 2015. Nintendo also showed Xenoblade Chronicles X. Xenoblade Chronicles is one of the best games of last generation. It didn't have the best graphics, but it really did have some of the best story, gameplay. It's probably the best game on the Wii, or one of the best games on the Wii. I'm not sure if this is a prequel or a sequel to it. This looks outstanding. This is really showing off what the Wii can do. There are a lot of different races and worlds that you can travel to in this game. I'm excited to play this on the Wii U in HD. This game looks like it'll be exceptional in terms of so many different regards. Xenoblade Chronicles X is expected to come out in 2015. A lot for 2015. The last game Nintendo showed was a complete shocker, a complete surprise, totally out of left field. A lot of people obviously were predicting some sort of a shooting game from Nintendo at some point. A lot of people were thinking Mario Paintball, but Splatoon, what an interesting game. This thing looks incredible. It's like 4-on-4, trying to cover the map as much as possible. You can turn into a squid to move really fast when you're moving in your own color of paint. When you're in your opponent's, you'll move slower. There's weapons that are just different, there's special items. You can click on your friend on the map and you will zip all the way across the map to them very, very quickly. You can climb up walls when it's your own paint color. This game really excites me. It gets me excited for shooters again. There's so much charm in Nintendo games. It's absolutely unbelievable how they make me smile. And they really are trying to redefine the genre, it seems, because first-person shooters, so many of the games seem like they're identical to me. When you look at them in terms of like Call of Duty, Halo, Gears of War, a lot of them have the same kind of thing going on, and this art style direction is so different, so off the wall, that I am in love with Splatoon, my favorite game of E3 personally. Now, Nintendo also announced quite a few things outside of their press conference, as they like to give us some secrets for later on. They announced Star Fox will be coming out in 2015. Mr. Miyamoto has been working on 2 side projects that are going to come out as well. And also, Palutena was a playable character. They announced that at the end of the press conference. But Pac-Man's going to be a playable character too. Nintendo rocked this E3. They definitely did really well. They have a few good games coming out in 2014, like Hyrule Warriors, Toad's Treasure Tracker, and even Super Smash Bros., which will be out on the Wii U and the 3DS. Personally, though, this is all about 2015, which will be such an epic gaming year. I would give Nintendo an A- for this year's press conference. Please comment below, though, how do you feel Nintendo did at this year's E3? How would you grade them? Let me know. Comment below. If you have any questions for me for future episodes, be sure to follow me on Twitter at CollectsNintendo and add the hashtag QLithium. Feel free to fill that like bucket, follow me on Facebook, Twitter, and Google+, and remember, as always, go collect 'em all.